Let's say we, for whatever reason, miss putting the incentive in. So say the incentive should have gone into August, but for whatever reason, going back to why we want to capture it at the time of move in, going back to why we want to understand what incentives that we're given, being on the same page with our sales leaders and making sure that the incentives that they have in their toolbox that is already got the proper approval and they know the incentives they can use. Business leaders, we truly want to know and understand that and make sure that the language aligns. So what they're telling the residents and what comes back on the lease agreement or whatever the documentation is going to capture the incentives on our end when it comes to the business office, we're able to interpret that and know how to make the financials reflect, right? We've seen plenty of instances where seems like a little gray area where the incentives are given and then some of the business office leaders are not able to determine what the intent was behind the incentive, or maybe it wasn't clear. So we want to make sure that we're able to close the gap there. But just to put it in financial, perspective and a viewpoint, if we missed the incentive in August when it was supposed to be recognized, and many times it may be from a resident that looks at their ledger and say, hey, wait, I thought I was supposed to have free rent or something like that, or it comes up or the business leader remembers, that's going to impact a future period where we see that now. And let's just pretend like this was an incentive that should have been done in August, but we didn't do it until October. Now our October P&L, and I know we're just showing the revenue, is going to take a hit when that hit should have been absorbed in August. Right, and I just want to kind of bring that to the forefront. So in August, we reported revenue of a little more than 20,000. So we really have overstated revenue. Like, oh yeah, that's great. And then a couple months later, now we have to recognize incentive because it wasn't done at the time of move in, and it was something that we had to go back and remember. And there's a lot of things that are going on, and we go and put that in. And now that our total revenue has to take a hit. So when really we were looking to report 15.5, we've got to report 12.5 because we got to show that incentive to give the resident the appropriate credit on their ledger. 3,000 may not seem like a big deal, but know that this is going to be a community where there's going to be a lot of residents there. So these numbers are going to be a lot bigger, and a couple of those missed, then that's a big impact. And even this in relation to what the total revenue is a big impact. You can easily say, okay, maybe that incentive was really for memory care. Right now, that's a huge hit when really we wanted to capture it in August or whenever it was appropriate. If we missed it in August and then captured it in October, then again, that's something that's got to be explained, because that's going to be a question like, hey, what happened there? And it's more of a process breakdown where for whatever reason, the incentive wasn't clear at the time of move in. So we went, we had to circle back and put it in. And now, ouch, that's a hit to our October financials. So just want to paint that example to help make that clear by using some of those numbers so that we can see the importance. And I know you guys understand the importance of being able to capture that, because this is essentially an expense in the period that it relates to, and not blowing up the financials in a later period. Now, again, going back to recording at the time of move in, right? If that memory care resident moved in August, the accounting system, property management system, allows you to go ahead and put that in the queue. So when we do the billing, if this incentive did read, hey, third month free, then when we do the billing, this is how it really would be captured. But that would be captured together when we did the bill. And now we're like, okay, now that goes in, and this is not a result of us having a double back, but the business leader being able to put that in at the time of move in. I can't stress that enough, because that's using the system, allowing the system to work for us, as opposed to going in and have to do a lot of manual charges. My business leaders know that when I do train with them, when I support with them, we're always, identifying where we're going in and putting manual charges, because in most cases, we don't have to put a manual charge in there. Ancillary charges, yes, we may go back and put ancillary charges in, but the billings, that's a click of a button. And if we're using the system as it's designed to be used, then that allows our business leaders to be, frees up their mind where they don't have to go remember, okay, this person got that incentive, that person got that incentive. Let the accounting system work for you. So anyway, in that case, the idea is to show that we can have a move in here as long as we put the incentive at the time of move in. And when we hit the billing button, these two steps together, then we're going to show that that incentive is going to cancel out against the revenue. And that's how we want to capture it. On the flip side, if it should have been here, if it should have been in the month in August, and it, for whatever reason we had to go back and do it manually, you can see that's a big stain on the revenue, because this number should really be 7,000 higher, but we missed it in August.